Hello, everybody. How you doing? Everyone good? Right, so 45 minutes ago, I was in bed. So just to kind of, all those accolades about all the things I've done, you know, I was sleeping 45 minutes ago. I have been for the last 5 years trying to figure out a way to fix the broken education system. And so it's one of those things that I think we actually all agree that the system isn't fit for purpose in the modern world, but yet very few things are actually being done to solve the problem. So I started off initially thinking, right, what could I do as just one person with some resources? I'd sold my company at that point and I had capital. What could I do to try and fix the education system? And it's a very difficult thing to fix, right? Because for some people, it actually works. For certainly those that want you to work for them, it works. Because it teaches you to sit down and shut up, to collaborate with no one and do an exam on your own, and to not stand out. It's a problem. And so how do we start to fix it? We acknowledge it. We accept it. I don't want to fall into a conspiracy theory bucket. It's just the way the system was designed by Henry Ford and Carnegie. They said it. They want people to go on 2 holidays a year, be able to buy a car, but go back to the factory on Monday. So let's just accept that it was designed that way, but it's not correct. It's not how humans should be living, and I want to change it. And I want to do it in a positive way. By sharing people's dreams, by listening to someone's dream, which I think is one of the most special things you can ever do. I've been shocked how many people don't know what their partner's real dream is, what your friend's real dream is. We want people to be able to say it so that it can become real and be there to help them do it. And so I have now interviewed over 4,000 people, asking them what their dream is all over the world. It's been a fascinating, almost like social experiment. And I am shocked how many people haven't even got the time to think about what their dream is because they're in fight or flight. They just need to survive. And the creative part of your brain can't even come alive. So what I'd like out the next 10 minutes, as I describe some of the things I've learned, these 3 things that are not on the screen here right now, but should come up in a minute, of what I've learned, it will hopefully give you some knowledge I have that you may already also have. But I really want your brain, as entrepreneurs, this might already be happening, but to be free to create. To not worry about paying the electricity bill or paying the staff bill or just surviving. Because if you're in that mode, your brain will not let you be creative and realize that everything is possible. The chair you're sitting on was once inside someone's head. They made it real. The phone you use, the lanyard on your neck, all of it was once in someone's head and they made it real. Whatever you can imagine, you can make real. Now, I do have a slide which has 3 things in I wanted to teach you, but it doesn't matter because I know it anyway. The first thing that's important is to understand that if you want to be truly successful, you need to have a community. Now, it can be a community of one. I think my first experience of community was my co-founder, Helen Griffiths. I think she was the first person who really believed in me and gave me the support I needed to become good at something. Before that, I would consider myself a generalist. At 23 years old, I was a generalist. I got kicked out of home at 15 years old. I had to leave school, and I had no choice because I couldn't get a job but to start a business. I did not consider myself smart. I'm dyslexic. A teacher at 14 years old actually told me I was stupid, and I never thought that I was able to do anything other than work in the local factory in St. Neots, the town that I grew up in. That was the aspiration. And I realized as I developed my skills, because I had no choice, because to want to be successful isn't enough. If I asked you all, do you want to be successful? Everybody will put up their hand. But want isn't enough. You need to need it. You need to have no choice. That's how you make it. And Helen helped me understand need, and she helped me understand how to build a community. She supported me. She was the beginning of my community, but without community, you won't make it. Like I said earlier about the school system, you're not meant to sit down and do an exam on your own. That doesn't happen in the real world. Nothing successful works unless you have 1 + 1 = 11. So today I have 14 million people that follow me online. We get 400 million views a month. Yes, I tried to help people, but I'm just one person. Where the real help comes from is the community. So this word community, to me, is so important. It's also a hack. It's a hack that the big companies haven't been able to actually create. If you're a small business owner, which I know a lot of you in this room are, it's your chance to beat the big boys. Because let's face it, Amazon community would just be a complaint hotline as to why are they still using loads of boxes and delivering stuff to us and wasting paper. They don't know how to create a community. Google, no community. Big companies can't do what we can do. We can connect to people that care about the same problem as us, and together we can solve those problems. Those companies aren't built that way. You can beat them if you build it this way, because community is why my book went to #1 on the Sunday Times bestseller list week 1. It was the only book in the top 100 books, and it was #1 on that list. I'm very proud of that. It was #1, didn't have any reviews. Every other book in that list had hundreds of reviews. So how did a first-time author, some called him stupid, dyslexic, can't write, get on #1 on the Sunday Times bestseller list in week 1? It's because of community. And you guys need to learn, tap into this. And it doesn't have to be millions. It can just start off with one. One person that has the same mission as you, that cares about the same problems that you care about. And that power of 1 + 1 = 11 will start to play out in your lives and in your business. And again, I promise not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I do think if you want to know how things work, follow the money. They want to divide you. They want us divided. Red versus blue, Trump versus Biden. They want us to have that friction because it distracts us from the fact that if we all in this room helped one person today, we could change their life. It's that fucking simple. And it's better to unite under this concept of community than talk about the things that divide us, that were deliberately designed to divide us so that we sit down and do an exam on our own. And some people agree. Other people are like, conspiracy theorist, idiot. The other thing I'll say, and my favorite thing about these talks is actually answering some of your questions. I want to get to answering some of your questions. I want to know what you guys need to know, see how I can help you. But I will say to you a couple of other things quickly. Commitment. If you want to be like in the 1% in the world, all you have to do is whatever you say you're going to do it. So I was at a dinner last night at the King's Trust. I was going to name drop who I met, but I'm not sure they'd like it. But I met someone very famous, and they said, 5 years ago, you said you were going to do something, Simon, and you've done it. You said you were going to build a community trying to help people have a better life, to give people a chance to dream, and to fix the education system by providing a new way of people learning on TikTok, on YouTube, for free. It's like, you did it. You said it. I didn't think you were going to do it. You're some rich guy talking shit, but you did it. And I can see the respect in his eyes because I committed to doing something and I did it, and that's all you need to do. And most of the time, this commitment is internal. If you say you're going to get fucking fit. Go to the gym. Don't say it and not do it to yourself and to others. I have a lawyer that works for me full time, and the reason he works for me full time is he said something that's so true. Paper will always accept ink. Right? If someone wants to screw you, paperwork will never stop it from happening. Commitment is a handshake. Commitment is doing what you said you're going to do, and if you do it, you'll be in the top 1% because it's shocking how many people say something and then don't do it. Commitment will make you different. No matter what happens, if you promise to do it, do it. Finally, before we get to Q&A, there is a need to understand history to help us understand the future. There's a big change that needs to happen in society, and I think it's quite urgent, especially with things like AI coming our way, and humans need to find purpose. We all have one. It's not a woo-woo thing, despite what people when I say you've got to find a purpose, like, no, you don't, just find a business with a market gap. No, you need to find your purpose. And the pursuit of it can be your purpose. But you need to realize there is something bigger than just ourselves. And one of the key things in my book that I've really tried to hammer home, and if I tell you this, you don't need to buy the book now, but the point I really wanted to get across in the book, the main thing is, if you want to be successful, if you want your dream to come true, you need to help someone else's dream come true. If you look at anybody who's rich, if that's your definition of success, it's not my definition of success, by the way. My definition of success is freedom of time, right? So I use money to buy time. That's the only thing of value that money can buy you, because you can't get time back. I don't waste money on anything but buying time. But if you realize that you helping someone else is actually what makes you happy, your life will change. But you've been reprogrammed. At the same time as the education system was installed, there was a saying injected into our psyche, which is give and take. I'll help you if you help me. As I say it, it feels reasonable, right? We all kind of come to accept it. That's fair. And then you hear sayings like, well, I help them and, oh, no good deed goes unpunished, does it? And that sets your psyche to believe that you shouldn't help someone. That if you let someone homeless stay in your spare room, they're likely to murder you because you saw a headline that planted that in your brain, and now you don't help that person who's freezing in the street at night, even though you've got a spare room. We get trained to think a certain way. Fear is being leveraged against us. Fear is an asset, by the way, if we use it right. But it's being used against us. And the key is to change your mindset. Give and take is bullshit. We're not supposed to be so transactional. The life is not meant to be swipe left, swipe right, find love. Go to the supermarket, swipe your food and leave. We need each other. We need to connect. It's not give and take. It's give without take that makes us happy. And I'm sure for a second, if you just search in your life, the good times and the bad times, you remember that moment that you went and got a Christmas present for someone. And you wrapped it up and you were excited to give it to them. And that morning you give them the present. The excitement of giving someone something is actually oxytocin in our brain, the antidote to dopamine, and creates a sensation of complete happiness. Because we're meant to help each other. We used to live in communities of 5,000 people. I mean, just bear in mind, 50,000 years ago, there was only 1 million humans on the planet. Okay, so we used to live in tribes of 5,000 people, and if someone in that tribe has a problem with their tent and it falls over, they're not left there to be homeless. I mean, when I was homeless in 1990, there was 20,000 homeless people in this country. There's now over 300,000 people homeless. And I could get into the whole subject of the housing problem. That's a whole separate subject, where buy-to-rent shouldn't exist, but that's a whole separate conversation for another time. But the point I'm making here is we have to change back to our natural state. And we have to see things as a helping each other thing, not a transactional thing. And if you have a problem, and I'm looking at you now. If you have a problem and you need my help, I can help you, I'm going to do it. I don't need 20% of your company and for you to work for me for the rest of your life, right? Because you need an introduction to Tesco's. I'll fucking do it because I know them. How have we been trained that everything has to be like that? Because the TV programs teach us this way, and we hear these things about someone helped someone and they fucked me over. No, what happened was, you lent someone money and you had an expectation you were going to pay it back. So you got annoyed. You wound yourself up. You did something nice, but you had an expectation. I saw someone the other day open a door for someone and the person walked through and they went, well, don't say thank you then. They're like, you went from doing something nice for someone to being wound up, literally in the space of 4.5 seconds. What's the fucking point? Expectation is hurting you. And thinking you can't help someone is hurting you because it's naturally in us. Like I said, if everybody in this room all helped one person, we could change their life. There's someone in this room right now that's struggling to pay their bills, that's struggling to get customers. We could all retweet them, whatever it's called these days. We could post about them. We could give them some advice. We could introduce them to someone. We can change lives by being kind. It's not complicated. And so remove this concept of give and take from your mind. Is going to be hard. Just remember, you need help. The hardest thing actually is to ask for help. The strongest people ask for help. Just remember to ask for help. And don't be embarrassed to ask for help, because you can't make it on your own. The school system told you were meant to. No, you can't. There's no self-made millionaires and billionaires. It's impossible. You cannot do it. People are in teams doing this. It's not possible to do it on your own. You've got to ask for help. And then, if someone asks you for help, remember, don't make it a transaction. Now, at first, this is hard, partly because of the economic structure, right? Everyone needs to earn money, right? So this fake thing that we've made up has trapped us, okay? And then we have high rent, high mortgages, high food costs. So now we have to really charge people. We can't even have a minute spare. When I was younger, showing my age now, one parent could stay at home while the other parent went to work. Now both parents need to go to work. No choice, just to cover all the bills. In fact, you can't not even be in a relationship anymore when you're young. If you want to live outside of your family home, you have to be in a relationship to afford the rent. So some people are in relationships, not because they're in love, because financially it's the only way to survive. That's how crazy it's got. But I think if we can just change together our mindset, take 4 is, I've tried to get take 5 trademarked, but apparently someone's already got it. Take 4 minutes each day at the beginning to help someone, and don't expect anything back. And it can be a small thing. Now, I give money and I give time. That's my decision. You don't have to do that. You can just literally promote someone on your Instagram stories. Or you can go on my platform, helpbank.com, and help people for free. Or you can go and ask your neighbor if they need anything. Or if someone actually looks like they're in trouble, just give them 4 minutes and don't charge them. And you know what will happen? You're going to need that help 2 or 3 weeks from now. Not from the person you helped, because if I help you, you're probably not the person to help me anyway, right? But the person I might need help from in my tribe a year from now will be there. And it won't be, sorry, in America they say, sorry, you haven't got insurance, you have to die. Sorry about that. That is not how it's meant to be, right? And with all the flaws in the NHS, I'm going to get political quite quickly in a minute, but I'm going to try and avoid it. With all the flaws in the NHS, the basic principle that if someone needs medical care, they get it, is pretty special. Even though corruption, overspend, bad management, all of those things are there, the basic principle of us helping each other is actually very innately in us in England, right? Because we're an island, it's in us more than most places. But I promise you, if you take 4 minutes a day, every day, for the next 12 months, a couple of things will happen. Oxytocin will enter your body and you will sleep better. You don't need medication as much as people. You need to help someone. That'll be the first thing. You'll sleep better. Second thing, I promise you, your dreams will come true. And I'll come back here a year from now and stand on this stage. I want to find out. I know this already to be true because I've seen it happen many times, but I'll come back here a year from now. Let's all come here. I want to hear stories of how you help someone every single day. Because at first, it's like breaking chains. At first, people are like, why are you helping me? What's the scam? Why are you helping me? What do you want? Right, that'll be and then as you keep doing it, and I've been doing this for 5 years, so I felt this already. At the beginning, it's like, he's a scammer. All right, yeah, I've made money already. Or I checked company's house. You've got loads. I made it in Hong Kong, you idiot. It's okay. I've got a company house. What are you talking? Oh, it's all a trick. He's just trying to get followers. Yeah, I'm trying to get followers so I can help people. And eventually, over 5 years, the people that hated me are now my fans, right? Because consistency matters, back to my commitment point. But what I want you guys to realize and really kind of take hold is that if you live by give without take, I promise you, you'll have the most amazing life. I only realized this myself 5 years ago when I sat down and reflected on my life. The moments that made me happy, when I just helped people and didn't have an expectation. The moments that made me unhappy were when I did things and had expectation. So I lent my older brother money and he didn't pay it back. And we fell out for 14 years. And I didn't see his kids grow up. All because I had an expectation. It was my fault, not his. I should have just given him the money. He was my brother. He needed it. I should have given it to him. No, I expected it back. And today, his daughter, Jess, is here in the audience, working with me, helping me, which is now, the full circle joy that I haven't lost touch with his kids. But the point I'm making is, don't have expectation and you'll be happier. I know it sounds crazy, you'll give more and you'll get more, but don't expect anything back. Now I'd like to answer your questions and see how I can help you. Thank you.
First class, I'm going to help. Thank you, Simon. First class. Also, thank you to our team member doing the bleeping of the rude words. You've really already... No, thanks. Hi, Mum.
Your mum's listening? She's never heard you swear? Come on.
Right, we'll open the questions here in St Paul's, but I've also got some coming in online. So if it's all right with you, Simon, we'll go quite quick fire. Is that okay?
Sure.
Thank you. Let's have another round of applause for Simon before we start. Right. And raise your hand. We'll come and find you in the studio here. I can see on the front row already. We'll come and find you with a mic. Question from online. I'd like to ask for help with my business, but sometimes I feel embarrassed. How do I overcome this?
I mean, every single person in this room has a problem with their business. I have a problem with my business. It's just normal. And I think, look, I do genuinely think the problem is it's hard to ask for help. Yeah. And all I can say is just say what you need. What's the worst that happens? I don't really know what the worst is that happens. I've done it myself. Being vulnerable is hard, but just try.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how many people want help. I say, we launched platformhelpbank.com. Initially, the idea was that people could go there and ask for help. And so we thought, okay, it's going to be hard to get people to go on the platform and help people. That's what we thought initially was going to be our problem. And when we launched the platform, the shocking data was, we asked people, are you here to get help or give help? 3 times more people on the platform were there to give help.
Interesting.
And getting people to go and ask for help was actually the problem.
Does it tend to split into helpers and people being helped, or is it quite circular?
Frankly, it's both, but people initially went on there to see if they could be useful, because what we actually realized with the platform is we cracked the ability to make help easy for the person helping.
Got it.
Because I haven't got a lot of time, but I have got 4 minutes now to jump on Help Bank and help before breakfast or in the afternoon.
Help Bank, Help BNK. So have a look. Let's get a question from the studio.
Let me just finish the point.
Please,
real quick, I just want to say, because what I'm trying to say is that the person who's asked that question, there are more people queuing up to help you than you realize.
Yeah.
And just ask. Because you'll make someone's day. You have to see it that way. If you help someone, you'll give them oxytocin, and they'll be like, wow, I could be useful in the world.
Giving them a lift by helping them.
So see it as doing them a favour. So ask. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you. Ava, where are we going? Fab. Feel free to say who you are, where you're from. You don't have to. Welcome.
Hi, Simon. I'm Anna. I've been in education. We're not a business. We've come today to see you. I don't get emotional, really, but to see you because I've been a head teacher for 18 years trying to do exactly what you want to do, and I promise we are doing it. My dream are to open schools exactly as you described. And from the age of 3, well 2 now, children are able to express themselves in that way. And I've worked in very deprived schools for government. I've worked in very affluent schools. And to hear you, I need your voice. And your voice is so beautiful about education. So I'm just saying thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
I'll help wherever I can. I sense your passion. And your teachers are amazing. Teachers are amazing. When I talk about the broken education system, I'm certainly not talking about teachers. They're fighting.
And in that community, we've got a WhatsApp group, and all parents have access to me 24 hours of the day.
Amazing.
And it's so powerful, and the community are behind us doing what we do.
I love it. Home education is a big answer to this problem.
Let's get a question from this front row. Some fantastic charities alongside the work Simon's doing, like Founders for Schools, pairing up founders with schools all over the UK. So do give your time. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi there, Simon. Thank you for your very inspirational speech and everything that you've done. My name is Johan. I'm 17 from West London, and I'm about to do my A-levels in 2 months. So I probably shouldn't have been here, but I asked my teachers I really want to go, and I want to take on the entrepreneurial journey. And I just wanted to ask you some advice because I'm hoping not to go into uni and follow my dreams, like you've said. Yeah. So I'd like to ask you what advice you could potentially give to me. Follow those dreams.
Great.
I would simply say, aim to fail your A-levels. Joking, not joking. You know, sometimes the education you get will trap you. So I know someone that trained to be a lawyer, now they're a lawyer, they hate it. So just make sure you don't get what your sunken cost vibe, right? You got the A-levels, well, you should go to university now, you're going to do quite well probably, you know, like, and don't get trapped by that letter A or B or C or D. Remember, A students, 80% end up working for D students. 80%. So if you get a D, awesome. Stay here all weekend, right, and then party on the last day.
Thank you, Simon. We haven't got time to...
Off.
We haven't got time
I'm
to...
not used to a moderator. That's enough, Simon, that's enough. That's enough. Don't... Tell everyone not to go to university.
Well, also, we haven't got time to find out. Oh, Anna was your biggest fan until that moment there, but we haven't got time to find out what she thinks. There she's muttering under her bed. Right, you're in trouble now with Anna.
No, I'm not.
Now, question from our online audience. As a small business owner, I'm usually in my own bubble, working all day. How do I get out of my shell and build a community? Good question.
Well, if you're an introvert, you know, there's plenty of online communities, including mine. There's loads of good online communities. So, you know, join my community and you won't be alone. And I think equally, if you're an extrovert, like, you should be here. Yeah. And so I think there's lots of opportunity. You've just got to make sure you don't get trapped in a bad habit. It's just a bad habit if you sit there on your own. And again, you're trained about this in the system. You're told to sit down, shut up, and do it on your own.
In the passenger seat, sit in the back.
Just connect.
Let's get more. How about in the pink top, and then we'll go in front of you. Been very patient there. We've only got 3 or 4 minutes. So.
Hi, Simon. So first of all, 3 home educating parents right here.
Woohoo! Home education is so misunderstood. I'm writing a white paper at the moment. I'd love to talk to you guys, but go on, Karen.
So our mission is, well, my dream is that no parent should have to choose between spending time with their kids and putting food on the table.
Yeah, well said. Round of applause for that, please. That's...
So our mission is free school, where we reimagine education, we redefine work, and we reclaim family. So given your experience in helping entrepreneurs and challenging traditional career paths, what advice would you give to parents who want to create a sustainable income that allows them to spend more time with their children? And the irony is I've had to leave my child at home to do this.
Me too.
While also fostering an entrepreneurial mindset in their kids.
Yeah, so, oh God, how long have I got, moderator? I feel like...
Well, if you want this to be your final question, you've got 2.5 minutes. If you want a gentleman in front as well, then split the difference.
All right. Oh, such a deep subject this is. So, okay, a couple of quick things, I think. One is, I home educate my son. It's so amazing. It is so amazing. No one ever taught me about it, and I never understood how amazing it could be. And you initially hear it, you think it's only for the privileged, right? It's not. And I agree with you, it is a choice. You can actually have a business and spend time with your family. So my first bit of advice is don't have work-life balance. That's for the system that tries to make you, don't want this shit right now, but don't worry, you've got the weekend, so it'll be all right. You know, but if you don't need work-life balance if you integrate your life with your work. Mm-hmm. So first thing is my son, he's not here today, but he's watching the live stream. And at the end, he'll give me feedback about my speech so I get better. Thank you, Aidan, right, for helping me. So I think trying to integrate my life and have him a part of it. So whenever a video does well, he's always been a part of that video. He helped the editing team get it right. He gave feedback. Sometimes I say he's not right, we disagree about, but he helps me basically. He helps me with the business. And I think that's the beautiful thing. Like people, again, I brought my son to a meeting the other day, and I don't want to take up all the time. It was the head of the Cheetah Survival Society. You know, there's only 7,000 cheetahs left on the planet. And so I took my son with me to meet this guy who wants our help. I didn't know my son knew all this stuff about cheetahs. It was insane. He was literally telling the guy who's running the Save the Cheetah Society stuff about cheetahs he didn't know. It was mental. And so, I think integration is key.
Thank you.
And I think definitely you're welcome. You're welcome.
And because I want to get another question.
Okay, go on then.
45 seconds. If you make the question 20 seconds, we've got 21.
Hi, I'm David, and I got kicked out of school when I was 16. I was told that I wasn't worthy of education. And that really kind of sunk into my core. But years later, lots of work, I now use neuroscience to help people achieve their dreams by showing them how to actually learn. And my dream is to redefine the education system. And so far, I've been giving lots of talks at schools, and it really brings me so much happiness to see these kids see them be inspired and filled with love. But I guess my problem now is scaling, and there's only so much I can do by myself.
Well, on that, what's your first name?
David.
David, Simon, would you be prepared to have a short chat with David and maybe others afterwards?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
is that okay? Yep. David, we'll make that connection and others as we go through. The one thing I've learned in 10 years of Elite Business Live, you have to stick to time because there's so much good stuff to come. For now, Simon Squibb, thank you so much. Bless you. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you, Simon.